Hey everybody,
Hey everybody, welcome back.
you guys got debt?
It's very freeing to be debt free, so you should always strive to be debt free.
No, we're trying to bounce off of it. Anyway, yeah, get debt free. It'll be good for you. So we're gonna get to that today, and that's it. I don't know how to intro this.
It's good for the finances, it's good for jobs because you don't have to slave away at one job forever
Yep.
because you need the money so bad. So, yeah, let's get into it.
Yeah.
Oh, dang it.
At the beginning of this month, I finished my journey of paying off over $130,000 of debt. And I vlogged throughout the day because I wanted to show how ordinary life truly is. Even when you're hitting these milestones where you've been telling yourself for years, I'll be happy when I do this. Finally be able to do the things once I hit this big milestone. The chores didn't stop. The mothering didn't get any easier. A huge party wasn't thrown. The mundaneness of life remained and the simple tasks still occurred. 8 years ago, I graduated from college with $90,000 of student loan debt, $4,000 of credit card debt, and a $27,000 car loan. After thinking for years in college that this was completely normal, I graduated and figured there had to be something more. What could I do to not have this debt for the rest of my life? So I did what any other 22-year-old would do. I went to Pinterest. I found some blogs referring to Dave Ramsey. I followed Dave Ramsey for a year, found other financial education resources that fit my lifestyle and my goals a lot better. Decided that yes, I want to pay off this debt, but I don't need to pay off this debt in the next year. I want to still live my life fully in my 20s while paying off debt and building wealth at the same time. And that's exactly what I was able to do. I'm 30. I just paid off $130,000 of debt, bought 2 rental properties with my husband, and crossed $100,000 invested this year. At the beginning.
Dang, that's a lot of debt.
Yeah, that's a lot of debt. But once again, as I said before last video, I get it. You want to get out of the debt, and it's best to get out as fast as you can. But don't kill yourself over it.
Please.
I keep saying it. Probably can't say that.
Well, you should really save up to pay off the debt, but don't prioritize spending.
For real.
That's all. But yeah, when you don't have all this debt, you have more room to invest and actually build wealth than digging yourself a hole. But when you look at $130,000 of debt, when you break it down, it doesn't seem like it's as much. But if she can pay off all of that debt, you can too, because a lot of people have less than that, even though a lot of people also have more than that. But yeah, if you have less than that, then that's definitely something you can do even quicker.
Yeah. Especially for a job.
Yeah.
So, because remember, you're luckier because you're someone with a job that can pay off debt. You're not someone who has no job trying to pay off debt. So that's all I gotta say.
Yeah, even if you don't have a job, just look at what you can save by stop spending on whatever item or monthly bill that you have recurring.
Yeah.
Next video.
So I used to be complete shit with money. I was a total shopaholic. I was in over $120,000 of student loan debt that I had no plan on how I was going to pay off. I was living way above my means. And my favorite way to cope with all of that money stress was to go and spend more money. You know, the whole buy now, worry about it later thing. Should also add that I was a 6-figure earner, so it's not like I was hard for money, but I just could not keep it. And look, nowadays I am debt free. I have an emergency fund. I have completely changed my relationship with my shopping and my stuff. If you want to learn more about that, you can check out my YouTube channel. I also have a bi-weekly newsletter that can help you. But I realized the one thing I had to do before I could really turn all of this around and change my habits, change my relationship with my money, was I had to change my identity. I realized I was really putting myself into a box and labeling myself as bad with money, shopaholic, can't control her spending. And so I was allowing myself to just wallow in that, and every time I failed with my money or felt like I overspent or bought something else on impulse, I could lean back on that persona that I had and that perception that I had of myself, and that is just oh, she's bad with money, what are you gonna do? So when I decided to get out of debt, I knew I was someone who thought of themselves as bad with money, so I had to ask myself, what does someone who's good with money do? They probably budget, so I started budgeting. They probably check their bank account regularly, so I started doing that. They probably know how much their bills are and when they come out. So the ultimate thing was I really had to change my relationship with myself and how I perceived myself in order to start building those habits and start to actually believe that I could be a person who was good with money. And yes, of course, factors like earning more money, creating side hustles, things like that to help me pay off my debt faster all matter. But I had to really change who I was, how I perceived myself, and my habits in order to be able to actually reach those goals of becoming debt-free, becoming a person who saves, invests, and can actually spend her money in a way that she feels good about. So if you're struggling with something similar, I really encourage you to take some time to reflect on how you perceive yourself when it comes to your relationship with money and really see if you can flip the script. You might surprise yourself. I hope this conversation helped you, and make sure you follow for more mindful spending and intentional living tips. So
Yeah, mindful spending and stuff like that. Oh, snap.
Mindset.
I forgot to say, hopefully someone's seeing this because we don't have that big a view rotation.
Mm-hmm.
I can't see words. I have made an not Excel spreadsheet, a Google sheet spreadsheet because I'm not paying Excel. I'm not paying Microsoft to use Excel.
Well, it's not up yet, so we'll talk about it later.
Talk about it later, but
yeah, in another video.
It's in the works, making a budget.
Yep.
Thing. So yeah.
People that are good with money, we actually keep track of what's coming in and out of the accounts instead of you really shouldn't keep labeling yourself as a shopaholic because you just think that's what you are, so you're just going to keep doing it and falling back into the old habits.
See, we made it so cutesy, shopaholic, ha ha ha, goofy, quirky. It's actually an issue.
It is.
So stop.
That's why most people are broke. So the bad habits need to stop now.
Yeah.
It's not good to just be spending.
Nope.
Shopping is fucking boring. I was discussing my shopping addiction in therapy today. What else is new? And I had the realization that I no longer enjoy the act of shopping. Aspects of shopping that I do enjoy is browsing in store. I also love discovering a piece in person that fits perfectly, the material's incredible, and I can't wait to wear it. Those two things I will always love. I'm a huge appreciator of fashion, but a lot of that has to do with appreciation versus purchasing. Buying shit just to buy shit is so boring to me now. The dopamine hit I used to get from shopping, I no longer get. Living with debt for so long has actually changed my brain chemistry. Let me rephrase that. Paying off debt. Basically, I was dissociated from the amount of my debt for so long because it felt insurmountable. But once I started actually surmounting it, that's not a word, I realized that a debt-free life is well within my grasp. Is it going to happen before the end of the year? Probably not. But you can be damn sure that this time next year, I will be 100% debt-free. The idea of buying anything that would put me back into this position makes me physically nauseous. The other day, I was really tempted to buy this pair of shoes, and I realized that actually it was just the thrill of the hunt and my scarcity mindset being triggered, and that if I purchased those shoes, I genuinely wouldn't get as much enjoyment out of them as I needed in order for the purchase to be justified. Just because I have the money for something doesn't mean I can afford it. If I were to have bought those shoes, I would be taking away from something else, i.e. paying off my debt or saving for my Paris trip. I would have had to give something else up to make that purchase. Additionally, I know that my no-buy year ends December 31st, 2024, but I'm not going to be able to return to regular shopping habits. I think next year will be a low-buy year, and then I will have no-buy months. But even looking beyond that, the only time that I think shopping or buying multiple things is justified for me is when I'm on vacation or it's sale season. I just no longer derive the same enjoyment out of shopping that I used to. I'm also no longer dependent upon shopping as a self-soothing mechanism. If I'm stressed out, I go for a walk, I go to Pilates, I read a book, I go cook in my kitchen. I've spent the last 7 months discovering new ways of self-soothing that don't involve shopping at all. The fact that I was so tempted to buy these shoes, old Alicia would have bought those shoes the second I found them. But new Alicia said there is no shoe that I want badly enough to break a promise that I made to myself. And I know that I would feel 1,000 times worse breaking that promise to myself than I would just letting the shoes go and never buying them. And guess what? I was right. In not buying those shoes, I feel totally centered. I feel grounded. And I learned so much in that moment. Showing up for myself and holding myself accountable in that moment felt so amazing. And I can only imagine how good it's gonna feel when I finally pay off all my debt, knowing that I fucking did that. I surmounted the insurmountable. I was looking at my balance sheet and I was feeling really frustrated by the fact that I might not be able to pay off my debt by the end of the year. I'm doing everything in my power to pay it off, but I just don't earn enough money to pay the debt off that quickly. If everything goes to plan financially and the best case scenario occurs, I still will only be able to pay off like $20,000, which means that I have a remaining $7,000, which will probably be around $6,000 by then. I'll still have money left over that I owe into next year. That really frustrated me. My therapist sat me down and she said, you know what? You need to celebrate your wins. You need to look at how far you've come. You need to look at how much debt you've paid off. And because I never knew the total amount of my debt, I don't even know how much I've paid off. She basically said that by doing my no-buy year and by not letting my debt get any worse, she said that I'm like holding two dams. And she's like, I understand exactly why you feel the pressure. I just really want to be debt-free. Once I'm debt-free, I know that shopping is going to mean something totally different to me. Anyway, thanks for coming to my TED Talk, I guess. Can anyone else relate?
I honestly, I forgot everything you said because this video was so long. All I gotta say is, yeah, the one thing I do remember is, yeah, browsing's way better than shopping.
Yeah, it is.
Shopping online sucks. Browsing in person is cool, and you just look at stuff. I don't ever like shopping though, for real. So that's all I gotta say.
Yeah, I know that like a lot of people don't have self-control, so they can't browse without actually shopping. Maybe like leave the credit card at home. Just go window shopping.
For real.
And bring an emergency card that has like nothing, but it's what you use for gas or like to get a tow if you break down or whatever.
Yeah.
But there are other things to do than to just shop. Like so many other things relieve stress and help with your happiness than just shopping and creating a bad habit from that.
Yeah. That's all I gotta say.
Find another habit.
How does it feel to be debt free? Let me tell you. Here are 3 positive things that I'm feeling right now, and then I'll give you a few negatives as well because why not? 1, it's the freedom for me. It's the feeling of freedom that's coming. It's not quite there yet, but it's just that sense of having a sense of flexibility. Now a significant chunk of my paycheck is not going towards this debt. I mean, that feeling alone is just amazing. And not only that, but because I was disciplined and I did this for a set number of months, like a little over 2 years, I've now built that discipline where I really don't need to live off of that significant amount of money. Instead, what I can do now is I can now essentially put that money aside for investment purposes. Although I probably won't put 100% of that money aside, I will be putting a significant chunk of that, whether that's like 75, 85, to investing. And so that is just knowing that, and the amount of freedom and flexibility it'll build me in the future is, again, a freeing feeling. Then finally, for me, like I said, it's a huge peace thing, right? Not having that debt is just like, kind of hung over my head. It just felt like an extra weight on my shoulders. And that just feels so freeing to not have that anymore. It gives you a little more flexibility. It gives you autonomy. It allows you to take risks. What if I wanted to say, oh, I quit my job, I want to start a business. Oh, I want to take time for myself. Like, it gives you more of that flexibility when you don't owe somebody so much of your money and your time. Okay, now the negative things that somebody could say is like, because I paid off this amount of money so fast, I obviously did not invest as much. And for me, that's okay, because now, like I said, what I can do is I can now invest that money going forward. And there were still some things I invested, but I was obviously nowhere near aggressive like a lot of people were putting the same amount or even half of that towards investments, right? So I guess the negative is it's like, oh, you're debt free, but it's not like you're like coming out rich. We're just kind of breaking even, but
True.
It's a start. How does it feel?
It feels rich though, if you don't owe people like all of your money and then your entire paycheck is not taken up by debt.
Yep. You've been able to save way more money before now than
Save
before.
and invest.
Yep.
High yield savings account. But yeah, it's just so much more enjoyable to not have to worry about like somebody hunting you down like the FBI if you owe money.
What kind of debt do you have? To the federal government?
Well, maybe that too. If you got tax debt, any debt, it sucks. It's so much better to not have it.
You got terrorism level debt.
So you may not be rich, but you will have so much more disposable income. So it would feel like you're a little bit richer.
Yeah, that's cool.
That's the power of saving and investing and not having debt.
Heck yeah.
We listen and we don't judge. I'll be walking into the new year debt free, all because I filed for bankruptcy. I know, that's right. I said it. I filed for bankruptcy. But hear me out. I had over $100,000 in credit card debt that I had accumulated over the years, and I had a plan to pay them back, and I was diligently paying them back, but the math wasn't mathing. Them people wanted my soul. So I did what any wealthy white man would do, and I pressed the reset button. Them people started to try to garnish my wages. Baby, that was a no. Don't ever put me in a situation where I have to choose me or you. I'm gonna always choose me. So I did a little research. I realized what works for me best, and I did what I needed to do. And I have never felt so free. Woo! Those creditors are thugs. God put me in a situation to where now I can use my expertise on myself. I'm already skilled in building credit. I'm already skilled in managing money. But it's hard to manage money and build wealth when you're in debt. It's hustling backwards, baby. That's what I absolutely love about the financial world. You can always get it back. I'm not telling you what to do. I'm just telling you what I did. Just weigh your options out and understand that pride comes before the fall. And at the end of the day, you got to do what you got to do. Y'all judging me?
Yes.
A little.
I'll always, no, I'm joking.
Yeah.
But that's pretty cool. But be careful with the bankruptcy thing because they don't go for every loan or every debt.
Like student loans.
Yeah, so that's all I gotta say about that.
And they stay, like, bankruptcy stays on your credit for like 10 years and it can mess up your credit. So be careful with that. Some people have been able to bounce back from it and it, like, have it not affect them somehow, but everybody's situation is different. So you never know. I wouldn't say bankruptcy is the first thing that you should be doing, but I get it with the crazy interest rates and everything.
Truly. I'll say this: you may be able to do the rich white man move, but you don't have that rich white man money.
You do not. It can put you in a really bad situation. And, like, I get it, like, people think they're coming out on top, getting ahead because they put in extra money, but then the interest rates make the balance keep rising.
Yep.
And you end up paying back more than what you even had in the first place.
Yep.
So yeah, that's why I kept saying about the garnish your wages. They were coming after the wages.
Yep.
And that sucks.
So, because, like, I really realized rich people can just declare bankruptcy and their life will not change.
Yep.
We can declare bankruptcy, we might not be able to get an apartment.
Exactly, because a lot of rich people, they don't need the credit. They don't need, like, really anything because they got the money already. They don't need to get an apartment or, like, they can probably just buy a house, a mansion right now with cash.
I think the worst part is they can legit pay off the debt, but they decide not to.
Exactly. That's why, because a lot of rich people are always investing. So they don't really prioritize the debt. They prioritize the investment so they can stay afloat in their billionaire income.
Mm-hmm. Start garnishing their wages. I bet you they'll start paying their debt if they start losing their $1 million a month paycheck and they start getting $10 a month.
Exactly. And like she said, you never want to be in a position where you have to choose you or them. So really, you should never put yourself in that position in the first place.
No.
That's what you got to keep telling yourself when you're getting back into the habit of spending.
Yeah.
Because $100,000 of credit card debt is a lot.
It is.
Yeah.
If you're in debt, stop scrolling. If you're not in debt, congratulations, fuck off. I'm just kidding. But pay attention if you're in debt. I was in $10,000 worth of debt.
So I got tired up.
2 years ago. I was living off of my credit card and ignoring the bill every month. I had so much anxiety over this. And I decided I needed to tackle it head on. So I called the credit card company and we came to an agreement that I would pay $373 every month, automatic payment. And I knew that wasn't that much, like it was going to take a long time to pay off $10,000 worth of debt. But after a while, I stopped thinking about it because it was an automatic withdrawal, and it was just like, slowly but surely I'll be out of debt. And then today I went to check to see how much more I owed them, but the account for the credit card had just disappeared from the interface of my website, or the website for the bank. So I gave them a call and I said, I still owe you guys money, but the account looks like it disappeared. I still had like $6,000 left to pay, so what's going on? And they said, yeah, the agreement was that if you paid $373 every month for a certain amount of time and you were consistent with it, then we would just drop the rest of the fee, or the amount that you owed. So I'm debt free now. So the bottom line is, call your bank and come up with an agreement, because that could happen to you. $6,000 just dropped. I'm debt free. I'm debt free!
See, I don't feel like it's gonna work for me because I don't have that much. I only have like barely. I got like 1,000 something.
Yeah.
So I think this is legit for people who have 10,000. I think 10,000 is like the crucial too much debt area.
Yeah. That's crazy. I don't really hear about this happening. So that's really good.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think it's like a write-off or something.
Yeah.
Because they take the loss and then they like put it to taxes so they can write that off. So it benefits them.
It benefits. Yeah, it benefits. Tax write-off. I don't think I'm gonna make that big of a dent. And also, like, I realized that she didn't even pay half of it.
Yeah.
And she still got it off.
She paid off like 4,000, so almost half, but not half. That's crazy.
It was half to be 5,000. So she paid off us like 40%, and they're like, you know what, we'll give it to you.
Yeah, call your banks then. But even if you can't get it, like in the end, there's no shame in paying back what you owe. So it still feels freeing, even if you don't have as much money as you would have had if you had gotten this. But like, you can rest in the fact that you worked so hard to pay it off, and you should feel proud. Yep.
I paid off $27,000 of credit card debt in 9 months. And if I were restarting that journey, one thing that I would do differently from the jump is call all of those credit card companies and try to get a lower rate. I didn't figure this was a thing until about a month left in my payoff journey, and I had 2 credit cards remaining. I had one Capital One and one Discover. I called Capital One and they would not give me a lower rate for anything. I called them 3 separate times to see if they would change their mind, and they told me no every single time. But Discover, within a 15-minute phone call, was able to get me from a 28.99 interest rate to a 9.99 interest rate and drop my minimum payments to $40. I wish I would have known this starting January, but hindsight. And so now I'm just trying to share it with you guys. If you have different card companies, I'm gonna call and negotiate. You don't even have to negotiate, really. It's just say, hey, I've been with you guys for X amount of time, and I was wondering if there's an option for a lower rate, even if it's temporary. And they will check for you, and they will, if it's an option, give you a lower rate. I didn't have to run my credit again. I didn't do anything like that. They simply changed the terms of my credit card. And for the one for the Discover that dropped it down to 9.99, it was only for 6 months, and they do call it a hardship program. Whatever they call it, I don't really care. All I know is my interest rate dropped. And this is very helpful because instead of getting charged 28% interest for 6 months, you're getting dropped down to 9. And then if you're dropping that minimum payment down to $40, now you have, you can focus on whatever other debt you might be paying off that is first in your snowball. So again, if I were starting my journey all over again, this is something that I would do from the absolute beginning. Call your credit card company, sometimes call them more than once to see if they will get you a lower rate, because this is possible. This is a thing. I did it. And for Capital One, who would not lower my rate after charging me interest for years and years and years, the second I paid them off, I closed the account. that is my personal choice. I don't know if you can decide if you want to do that, but they're closed out and Discover's still with me. So I haven't determined if I'm going to close my Discover yet, but the point is, call these credit card companies because they do have the power to give you that little bit of relief.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I still feel like this would not be a thing for me because mine is so low.
Yeah. Get those lower rates, but if it was dropped down to 40, like what was it before? Because I hear a lot of the monthly bills that you get from credit cards are like $20-ish.
Yeah, it is. It really depends on how much your limit is and how much you've been, basically how much debt you have.
Oh yeah.
So mine is like the interest fee I get is like 20.
That's too much.
Yeah.
But whatever it is, if you can lower the rate, then that would be great because they add that interest on to your bill each month and you're just basically throwing away money at it. So that sucks and it's going to be harder to pay off that debt and any other debt. And a lot of people just want to be done with it, so they close the account. So if you don't have self-control, that's probably the best option.
Yeah.
It's just nice to have something for emergencies. Just a little something, because even if you're in an emergency, you don't want to set yourself up for a bad future. So try to work with what you have before getting into any debt. That's what I would do.
When you owe someone money, we don't give this enough credit of the amount of brain power that it goes to saying, okay, someone else has a level of power over my life and I'm not in complete autonomy. Someone else has say over my life, whether it's Toyota Motor Company, Sally Mae, someone else is latched on to you. And when you are free from that and you're free from a system, it does something to you, again, on a more emotional, spiritual level than most people ever talk about. When you are free, there's a freedom there that you just can't experience when you financially are in this bondage. So it's smart financially and it's smart for just a whole person to not owe anyone anything.
Yeah. I don't think people like really understand this until after you like go into debt and pay it off rather than never having debt, because you experience how hard it is rather than just when you make smart financial decisions all your life and never go into it and you don't have to worry about it.
No, definitely not.
But she mentioned Sally Mae. A lot of people always hating on Sally Mae. Sally Mae does suck. Yes. And that mess, that interest rate was so much. My balance constantly went up every month. So I started off having to pay back more than what I took out like immediately, which is crazy. Don't, please, just avoid it at all costs. If your school tells you that you need to take out a private loan, just don't do it. Because I don't know if they were trying to scam me or whatever, but they said there was another option, but that was only after I send them like a denial or something, which is crazy. But sadly, I got approved and then I just took it. So probably should have refused and just asked what that other option was. Just don't. You can wait, but you don't ever want to be in this private student loan BS.
Nope.
It's really bad. But comment if you've dealt with them, because a lot of people hate them. You should.
When you become debt free, it does change the way you work because you're no longer working simply because you have to pay bills, simply because you have to prop up a lifestyle. You start to decide what you really enjoy doing, what you'd really like to spend your time doing, what matters to you putting your effort towards. And that is something that I think is very noble. When you become debt free, it does change.
These videos are really short all of a sudden.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I can't even see the timeline because everything has to be white, but yeah.
White background.
But that is true, because you don't want to spend your life working for somebody else constantly. And if it's not just your job, you're also working for the bank or whatever company that you owe the debt to.
You always work for the government.
Yeah. Yeah. But that sucks. And then when you are debt free, you have like so much more options that you can try out And if you're fired, then it's not as scary. And you don't have to stay with the job that you hate forever. You could take a lower paying job if you wanted to.
Yeah.
Let me tell you why I love this debt-free trend, okay? Because I feel like the rich people try to use debt as a way to keep us down. So the fact that they banned TikTok and like now I think we have like 9 months until it's gone in the US. Imagine that this is the last stand that TikTok takes. Like, this is the last thing that they do before it's gone. The masses are financially free. We can finally start taking back some of our power. Like, I don't know the long-lasting implications of this, but I hope that it's good. I really hope.
And just like that, we reversed it. Recession is coming.
Yep.
People are panic buying because of
Stop.
the next president. It's ooh.
Just don't. Don't panic buy, please. Panic invest. Now that's what you do.
What's it called? Panic buying is more like
It's doom spending.
Doom spending.
So let's doom invest. Yep.
well, actually, that's what you should do, especially if you think your next president's going to crash the economy. Start investing. You don't just buy stuff. You start investing.
Exactly. And it can happen with any transfer of leadership. So you should definitely kind of just always be doom investing and doom saving and all of that. No doom spending. We don't need that.
So here's the issue we don't realize. This mess was set in stone two presidencies ago, quote unquote. This mess was coming for a long time. The system's just screwed, like from presidents from like the 70s, bro. It's been a long time coming, so it's just going to happen either way.
Yep.
We can just try to, at best, the president now or before or later could just try to put some things in place, but it's going to happen. There's no stopping it.
And oh my gosh, we're going to put so many businesses out of business by being debt free.
For real.
This is what rich people and the government and everything, they don't want you to know any of this, like, education to become debt free and all that. They want you to stay in debt and not know how to use money so that you can continue slaving away for them and that you think you need that job so bad.
Oh snap, it's the app time. That's actually a reason that taxes are so hard to do. And there's so many no real free ways, and the way you gotta find them is through a lot of search and maybe recommended through the internet.
Yep.
It's because the tax companies have people in your public office of the federal government saying, "Hey, how about you don't do that and we fund your next campaign? Hey, how about you don't do that and we'll pay for maybe a trip or something?" But they don't tell it. They don't say that because it's illegal. But at the end of the day, most other countries, the amount is given to you already. You don't need to file nothing.
Yep.
So all I gotta say is, it's gonna happen either way, dog. The best thing you can do is make sure you're safe.
Yeah, and here's a foreshadow to a future video, is stop using TurboTax because there are free tax sites out there where you have to pay very minimal or nothing at all. Like free tax.
Ooh,
USA.
I want to save this for that video.
Yeah.
I want to see this fact. Should I say the fact for video or should I just say it?
What fact?
TurboTax had a free IRS version of their system, and they got rid of it because they realized it was making them money, and they hid it. So yeah, TurboTax, they're one of the main villains.
Yeah, and you can file your taxes yourself too, like just completely yourself without like the platform guidance.
Yep.
I think on the IRS site, if they still do that. So
They're trying to bury it.
As always, because they don't make as much money.
Nope. So basically, your taxes will never be easy to do. There'll never be no debt. It's a lie. They will never get rid of deficit. If anyone telling you they're going to get rid of debt, they're probably going to lower it by a little, but they're never going to get rid of it. That's what the government runs on.
Yeah, and they just make everything so hard to fill out, especially with the taxes, because they need people to have to like look for help from these businesses so that they can get more money.
Yep.
Sucks.
That sucks. Anyway, that's all I had to say. Please like, comment, and subscribe.
And share the video.
And
please get us to 1,000 subscribers.
That too.
Thank you for watching. Did we say that already?
No, we did not.
Oh.
Did we?
I don't know. But yeah, being debt free is good. Be debt free, please.
And be free.
So freeing. It's in the name.
and don't, once again, do not eliminate yourself over it, miss. Don't put yourself into the ground.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just gotta keep it pushing, but make sure you try to pay as much off as you can.
Yep.
Don't put yourself in harm's way to do it.
Please don't.
That's all I gotta say.
Mm-hmm.
Well, anyway, I've been Bry, and she's been Lena, and we're out of here.
Bye.
I can see my hand. Bye.